Hey my friend, Evan Scoresby here, coming to you again live from my home office in Springville, Utah. And we are continuing our discussion on The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. We're actually going to be talking about the first principle in The Science of Getting Rich. This is the meat and potatoes, my friend. You know, the first few chapters was just kind of a foundational build-up. But now we're getting into exactly what we need to do, how to do it, to get rich, to follow that first principle. Now, believe it or not, this is actually the third time I'm recording this video. The other two times were just way too long and I focused on, way too much stuff. And in this one, I'm just actually going to pinpoint and highlight just a couple of things to think about. But I want you to go up to the Mindset Training tab up here on my website, download a free copy of the ebook of this Science of Getting Rich, and read this chapter in its entirety because there's a lot in here. Or click the link below, order it off Amazon. It's just a couple of bucks. But I wanted to highlight just a couple of things to make a point of the first principle in the Science of Getting Rich. Okay, Wallace Wattles, he says, I have said that men get rich by doing things in a certain way. And in order to do so, men must become able to think in a certain way. A man's way of doing things is a direct result of the way he thinks about things. To do things in a way you want to do them, you will have to acquire the ability to think the way you want to think. This is the first step toward getting rich. To think what you want to think is to think truth, regardless of appearances. Okay? Regardless of appearances, think truth. Now, think to the Matrix and Neo when he's trying to bend the spoon with his mind, right? And the little kid says, first you need to realize the truth that there is no spoon, right? So there is no spoon. That's what enabled Neo to open his mind and be able to bend the spoon, right? But he says, well, regardless of appearances, and he says, to look upon the appearances of poverty will only produce corresponding forms in your own mind unless you hold to the truth that there is no poverty, there is only abundance. There is no poverty, there is only abundance. So to think health when surrounded by the appearance of disease, or to think riches when in the midst of appearances of poverty requires power. But he who acquires this power becomes a mastermind. He can conquer fate. He can have what he wants. Right? Okay. So when we realize this, we're going to lose all doubt and fear. Everything that we do is a direct result of what we think about. And we need to think in a certain way. And this is where it all begins, my friend, is in our thoughts. And we need to have absolute faith that what we think about can bring about what we want in our lives. And just remember that truth. If you're focused on poverty, by all your appearances, if you're focused on poverty, like if you look at your financial statements, for example, if you're have a mortgage, $100,000 a mortgage, if you have credit card debt, student loan debt, if you have car loans, medical bills, if you have if you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and you're looking at your financial statements, and you're looking at what you see before you, how you have this job and you make a certain amount of money, and there's just seems like there's no end in sight of how you could ever get out of this situation, that, my friend, is you're focusing on the poverty side of it. And so because you're focusing on that, it's going to continue to come into your life. But you need to realize that there is no poverty, there is abundance, there's enough for all, and you need to focus your mind on abundance rather than poverty. And then this thinking stuff, these thought processes, and things will start to happen in your life where you will get more abundance. You will be able to, acquire the things that you want to acquire, pay off the debts, and become financially free and get rich. And great book, my friend, great chapter. Hope you found value in these points I just came across. And feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject and the first principle of getting rich. And you need to have absolute faith and believe that these things are the what you need to do. Okay? So leave your comments below, and remember, only you have the choice to make it a great day. We'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.